Welcome back, everyone, to another video. If you aren't following along with the Camaro series so far, go catch yourself up on some of the old videos to see where we're at today. But good news is I got the parts we need, I got the transmission back, and I got the converter back, fluid, everything we need to go get this transmission back in this car with the new converter and see how it does at the drag strip first and foremost. But also the streets too. So I just got home from a buddy of mine who recommended this guy who builds these transmissions. Pretty much he went through everything. When I got this on a trade from swapping from the manual that came out of here to the Turbo 400, I was told this was a built to 850 horsepower or torque capable transmission, and didn't know for sure if it was dogged out, ran through. I just kind of put it in and sent it off Facebook Marketplace. So he sent me a couple pictures, which I'll put right here. Just pretty much the gist of it was everything was good. It's true inside. They are built parts. He liked what he saw. Nothing major issue damage wise, just the burnt clutches were in there. And they said they just kind of had a little bit of wear and tear on them. Did it really get 100 miles on the transmission? I don't know. You can burn a clutch up in a 1-2 shift pretty quick if you're doing it wrong, or have like a miss shift, like maybe it was my fault at the track. Which is my last video, so go check that out to kind of see what happened. If you're confused at this point, that's why. But maybe, I don't know, give or take. But other than the couple of clutches that it needed, he said everything else looked great. The pump looked great, upgraded sprag, all that stuff was good. He said this is ready to rock and roll. Just make sure the linkage is right. So super antsy on that now. I know that that's kind of like the crucial part when these 400 is making sure that linkage is perfect and adjusting as necessary. So I'll make sure 100% I'm comfortable with the linkage when I get this all put back in. And then the other piece of the transmission is, of course, the converter. So I ended up going with, at the box, I just set it out, Cameron converters right there. They are kind of sort of local to me. They're in Columbia, South Carolina. They've been around a long time. They have proven race cars that have broke records and hold titles. If you aren't familiar with Camaro converters, maybe you are, I don't know. But they're really good. They're local to me, so I have an issue. I can go there and kind of have like a pit stop instead of having to send something off. I called around a bunch of places, PTC, Circle D, yada, yada, and they pretty much are, just like everything in the race industry right now, really back ordered, or not back ordered, but time is, I guess, on back order. So about 5-6 weeks. So they turned this around. I called them last Friday. It is Thursday. They had it to me in less than a week. Built to this car. So I gave them all the specs, the blower, cam, lift, everything that is needed to make a converter work properly. They did the whole build sheet, and they built this in, like I said, less than a week. So pretty sweet. Super pumped about that because, like I said, I kind of have a little deadline. I'm trying to make it to Streetcar Takeover Rockingham here in about 20-something days, so a little over 2 weeks. So I need to make sure this car is perfect before I go up there. I say perfect, but as close as possible to me understanding it with all the changes we made this past winter. So long story short, this is a 9.5-inch. Stall should be somewhere around 4, she told me. There's just no technical number for stall because everyone's car is different depending on all those factors that build and a build sheet that make your converter. So this isn't just some ordinary Jag Summit off-the-shelf converter. There was a talk me and Cameron had about plans of the future with deciding on how to build a torque converter. Pretty much it was either do a big heavy-duty overkill 10-inch torque converter. That's good for, he said, like 2,000 something flywheel horsepower or crank power, and I was like, I need to find a stopping point. Obviously, if you don't, you will not only burn a hole in your pocket, but be really always trying to push. And this isn't a race car. This is a street car. I'm not trying to do anything crazy with it. I told him, say, hey, listen, in the future, I mean, yeah, we're going to go E85, big fuel system, get rid of the meth, pulley down, make more boost, because the car is kind of limited on 93 right now. But I would say my goal, I told him my goal is about 1,000 horsepower car. It's always been a goal of mine. It'll do numbers like I want it to and still be streetable. Anything above that starts to become race car stuff where you're cutting weight out and chopping it up, tube, everything. This isn't the car for that, to at least try to do that with. That's more of like Fox bodies and stuff that's already lighter weight. This is a boat. So I said, man, 1,000 horsepower is like, if you're doing that, this thing still has room to go. It was kind of my decision on if I want to spend the extra money to go guru crazy on a converter or do the 9.5 inch, which was cheaper, which that isn't the reason why I did cheaper, but also will handle the power I need it to in the future and be perfectly fine. Still act like a converter should with flashing and all that stuff too. So he said, I think you'll be fine. If that's your goal, then this will handle everything you want to in the future. He said maybe it might have to be restalled. But hey, if they're right here locally, I can just go up there, have it turn around real quick, come back when that time comes, if it actually needs it. So one of those things, you have to test it whenever you do big changes to a car to find out the converter likes it or not, and then they can make changes accordingly, if that makes sense. So that is it. We are back, ready to rock and roll. I'm not going to go step by step on how to put this in the car. There is a full series, like mini series, 3 episodes on whatever videos on my channel already on doing this swap. So if you need that, go back and watch those videos. It'll explain everything a lot better on how to do a swap like this in a car and all the step-by-step stuff. So hopefully that helps. All new fluid as well. I have some ATF full synthetic. I think that's, yes, 1 gallon. And then I have 7 of these. I asked the builder of mine what to run in there. He said run type F. That's all he uses for racing transmissions. But per JW, it says use full synthetic. They want you to use their, whatever, I had 5 gallons of it. It's in that bucket, actually. Their JW racing fluid, which is stupid expensive. So not going to do that. I'm just going to mix it a little bit, 5 gallons and 7 gallons. Converter's bone dry, so I'm going to need to fill this up. It takes about a quart. And then stab it into there. Put it on the trans jack there. Stick it in. Bolt everything in. Put the drive shaft, exhaust in. And then if the weather stays like this, it's awesome. It's a little breezy, but it's 75 right now. And we don't get rain. We've getting slammed with rain and tornadoes and everything here recently. Then I'll probably go out tonight and flash it a couple times and see how it works. Do a nut and bolt check, make sure nothing's leaking. And I would go to the track, but they decided it was still going to be too wet, even though it's perfectly fine outside, but whatever. So I can't go to the track tonight, or I would totally do that instead to really get the feel of how this converter works. But the street in Mexico will suffice for now. So I'm going to stop talking. I got a lot of work to do, a little bit of daylight I have left, and go ahead and get this sucker back in so we can go ahead and see what this setup will do. Let's get to it. All right, so we got the car back together. I'm actually driving right now to go get some fuel, and then we're gonna go test it and see how this new converter does. So far so good, no major issues. I drove it a little bit last night and didn't have any problems, but we won't know until we go into wide open throttle how it really does. So we're gonna fill up real quick and then go to the test spot and see how it does. All right, so I'm back home. The car made the journey. Did get a little hot. I don't know if it's maybe just because I ran it and then ran straight home, but the car did really good for what I was pretty much testing on. The road is nothing to brag about. There's a lot of dirt. It's just really was to see kind of how the converter worked. Overall, it should do pretty well on the track. I spun a lot, and I have a picture of, after testing, the lines I left down, which I'll put right here. To kind of show you that it was spinning. There was a lot of wheel speed, and it was not trying to get a number. Obviously on the street it's going to be different than the track, but just to kind of test and see how well, like I said, the converter flashed and shifted. Everything seemed pretty good, so I'm pumped to see what it'll do at the track now. So I'll see if maybe the rain holds off on Thursday. It's like a curse where I'm at. It always rains just on Thursdays. If it does not rain, if it doesn't rain, then I'll definitely go to the track, and I'll make a video on that here soon, of how well this converter really works on a prep surface, without, crappy road conditions, and hopefully get a decent number. I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm gonna do foot brake stuff still. 8th mile. If I like what I see on the 8th mile, I'll run it out the back and hopefully get personal best with this setup. So I'm pretty excited, but overall I'm pretty pleased with the Camaro converter that was in that got put in the car. I did get rid of my old converter, so that one's gone. So now it's just really nut and bolt. We have a few weeks left before Streetcar Takeover Rockingham, so I'm gonna pretty much just clean up little things here and there. I'm ready for it. I have extra parts and stuff will be taken. I'll be towing it up there, so we got a trailer I'm gonna be using for that, and it should be pretty much good to go. So so far so good, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If this helps anyone who's kind of in the process of doing something swap like, you can kind of get an idea and feel for what to expect, give or take your power adder and stuff like that. But the car did, for the most part, what I thought it would do. So pretty pleased. It is really dirty, so I know silver hides it well, but like the back glass is just like super dirty. So I'm gonna wash this thing, change the plugs on it. The oil's good, just check levels and everything. Kind of, like I said, just do a nut and bolt on the whole car, make sure it's good to go for the track, and then for when we take off to Rockingham. So appreciate everyone so far. If you haven't shared this video or the other videos, go check those out and share those. And if all is well, you'll see this thing run pretty spicy at Rockingham. Definitely better than last year for sure. I'm thinking for classes, I'm not 100% sure yet. I want to do the Rockingham, or not Rockingham, I want to do the rolls on Friday. They're going to break it. It's a little bit different this year. They're breaking it up into like qualifying, and they put you in a class depending on how you run. So I really need to do some testing I haven't done yet from 6130 to see kind of where I should stand in the roll class. So if I get a second before I go out there, or get a day really, I'll go out and drag you some 6130s and see kind of where I'm at with that, to kind of gauge where I feel like I should be at. But we'll do that on Friday, and then for classes I have options of either heavy hitters, which is 4,200 pounds, which I'll have to add like the seats back and stuff to kind of get in that class. And then there's street daily driver, which I believe I meet the rules, or I can do 10.0 index, 11.0 index, and I'm not going to do the other ones because those are, I wouldn't stand a chance, but really just those, honestly. So I'm kind of torn. I guess I'm going to see what's up there when I get up there and what I feel like I would have a standing chance in, because a lot of these street cars are, they're moving pretty good. So just depending on the turnout, it all depends. But I already got my tech card and everything like that. Rooms, everything are booked. So I'm pumped. Y'all be ready for that. There's gonna be a lot of good content. And I'll keep like a daily, I'll kind of do like a day 1, day 2 like I did last time of that event. So y'all stay tuned for that. But I'm gonna go ahead, clean this thing, get it all tuned up, ready to rock and roll. I will see you guys on the next one, or hopefully we're testing this on the track with a new converter and run a new personal best. Y'all have a good one. Thank you. Peace.